Welcome to Familiar Faces. I'm sure you're all aware that we're heading into our final stretch of Schwarzenegger Month, and I've got to say I've been loving it. So much that I've decided to make my own video to celebrate it. I would have liked to have made more than one video, but I've actually been spending the whole year preparing for a different celebration. So seeing how this is the first and probably last Schwarzenegger Month, I'd better get my fill. Although his governorship has never officially lent his voice to animation, it hasn't stopped him from making a huge impact on the industry, with dozens of characters sporting his muscles and/or voice. So join me as we take a look at animated Schwarzenegger clones. Let's start out with the look of one of the earliest Arnold clones I can remember. In fact, it was so early they weren't even trying. They just called this guy Arnold the Pitbull.
Oops, sorry. Maybe I'll just stay a couch potato. Bye.
Here now and see me next week. I'll pump you up myself, you namby-pamby baby fluffy nothing.
What a guy.
That's right. Tiny Toons was the first, and thank God only, to answer the question, what would Schwarzenegger look like as a furry? Truly ahead of its time, that series. But Arnold's main role in the series was condensed into a self-absorbed, muscle-bound jerk.
That stupid wimpy junior lifeguard, always doing something wrong. So, the first day on the job, and you're playing with silly, sissy, stinky baby toys, yeah? Don't you argue with me, you scrawny little nothing person. The swimmer's safety always comes first. Right, girls.
And despite movies like Conan, Terminator, and The Predator having been around for a few years, showrunners decided to ignore all that material, although they were kind enough to give him the Terminator glasses. Instead, they drew from the Saturday night sketches of Hans and Franz, another set of Schwarzenegger parodies. So Arnold is like a direct parody combined with an indirect parody. Weird. Hey, you want me to show you something that'll scar you for life? I know I do.
Hiya, Arnold. Where's your gate?
I am Arnold State.
I see you've met Arnolda.
Arnolda?
Yeah, she's the only girl I know who's better looking than me. Dance, sugar pup.
Love to, honey hound.
When I say you should screw yourself, I didn't mean for you to take it literally.
Okay, moving on. Here's another early one that I remember from a few years later. In an episode of Darkwing Duck, the kids mistake an alien robot police officer for a bad guy, and end up helping a dangerous alien who wants to blow up the world.
I hate when people talk during the movie.
As clones go, this one is actually a weak example, because he resembles a robotic bulldog. Hell, even the alien looks more Schwarzenegger-like than he does. But then he opens his mouth.
You mean you're a cop?
Not just any cop. I'm Big Nasty.
Ugly too.
No, Captain Big Nasty. It's my name.
Oh.
Now, whether or not this was meant to be a direct clone of Schwarzenegger, that's how I remember it as a kid. And watching it recently again, all the techno-babble he spews gives me Total Recall flashbacks.
It's an explosive seismosphere. We might be able to use this to jumpstart the engine. He's wasting time. If we don't have engine thrust before we drop back into the atmosphere, we lose...
If they had used another voice, this character would have been totally different. So let this one serve as an example that a little Austrian accent can go a long way.
Hey, I'm just gonna drop this guy off in Mexico. You want me to bring back some tacos or something?